everybody. Colonel Colin Malley, and I'm here with Command Sergeant Major Mike Sanchez, and we are your Garrison Command team. So just want to say what a beautiful day on Fort Benning it is, and really a pleasure for us to be out here with you today. We're 9 days away, right? 9 days away for this historic event. The morning of Thursday, 11 May, we'll be transitioning, redesignating Fort Benning to Fort Moore, named in honor of Lieutenant General Hal and Julia Moore. We're ready for a great celebration. We've been lockstep with the community and have great support from everybody leading up to this point. You can see lots of work being done behind me in places all over posts. This is just representing one of the small pieces that we're doing as you see the transition. So proud to be here with you today and ready to take your questions. You might talk.
How many signs, or roughly ballpark, how many signs or things have to be physically changed like this?
So we have just over about 300 signs on post that have to be changed. A number of those we've changed ahead of time. What we've learned from this is right over the last 105 years, we've done a great job of branding a lot of things on Fort Benning. But not everything needs to necessarily say more. I'll give you an example. So one of the signs in the golf course said Fort Benning Golf Course, right? So that sign's come down already, and now it just says golf course, right? Everybody knows it's on post, so it doesn't need to say Fort Moore Golf Course. So we already made some of those transitions. We're probably about 40 to 50% done right now with changing out those signs, and the rest of them are going to be done on the morning of Thursday, 11 May, really in conjunction with the ceremony. So while the ceremony is going on, a number of teams from the Public Works will be around and making those changes the day of.
A lot of things are changing, not just signs. And then this road, this boulevard behind you is Fort Benning Boulevard. What's happening there?
So I know this is not widely understood well, but I'll explain it like this. So in accordance with the 2021 National Defense Authorization Act and the Naming Commission, right, the Headquarters Department of the Army has directed not only the changing of the 9 installations, but there's a number of subordinate assets and whatnot. And in previous engagements, we've talked a little bit about those with the Moore family and whatnot. So there's a number of things that are changing on post. For example, we have 3 roads that are changing. Fort Benning Road here will be changing to Legacy Boulevard, for example. We have 2 other roads on post, Dixie Avenue and Stonewall Road, that'll both be changing as well. So that's just an example. Another example, of course, is we have a club on post called the Benning Club. It's going to be transitioning on the day of to the 1918 Club, for example. So there are a number of subordinate assets and those kind of things on post. Anything with the Benning name or anything that's also been directed by the Naming Commission that has associations with the Confederacy are also being taken down. And we're doing it simultaneously on the Thursday, 11 May.
Quick follow-up. What's the strangest thing that changed the name?
The strangest name or strangest change. Well, there are probably some that people don't think about a lot. So one of our jewels in the crown that we have here for our family morale, welfare, and recreation is Destin Army Rec Center. Some people are familiar with that. We own 12 acres down in Destin, Florida. It's really a great destination, holiday vacation spot for retirees, active duty, for the entire Southeast. One of the jewels in the crown. We have a boat down there, a charter boat in the water that's called the Stars and Stripes of Fort Benning. Right, so for an example, right, we're having to rename that. We're just going to call it the Stars and Stripes at this point. But people forget about some of those things. So we not only have Camp Frank Merrill that's up in Dahlonega, Georgia, that's a sub installation. We also have Destin Army Rec Center. So I like to use that boat as an example of one of the things we're having to change and take it out of the water and bring it back.
It's been Fort Benning for 105 years. So there's a contingent in the community that's maybe veterans that might say, we'll always call it Fort Benning. We'll always know it as Fort Benning. So what would you say to folks that say, now that it's officially getting a new name?
Well, what I'll tell you is the important thing is that we're still going to absolutely be committed to being successful on our mission. And our mission as a Maneuver Center of Excellence is to produce greatly trained combat soldiers, right, for the Army. Maneuver forces here, as you know, home in the infantry, home in the armor. So we're going to continue to do that, right? And really, nothing is changing on Fort Benning. Ranger School isn't getting any easier on Fort Benning, right? Airborne School isn't getting easier. These things are all the same. What we like to say is this is an opportunity for us to align with a contemporary family moving forward, right? Such an inspirational leader, Hal, and of course his wife, Julia Moore. It's an amazing opportunity for us to align our goals, align our objectives, and really understand what an amazing life that they lived, a lifetime of service that they gave to the nation, and we're aligning with them. And we think that this is a great way for the community to come together and really get behind this and understand that this is a way to inspire future generations that are going to serve and come through these grades. So we look at it as an opportunity. That's what I would say to them.
What about the cost for doing all these changes? And I mean, is this paid for by the Department of Defense, or is there a fund that is set aside to make all these physical changes to 300 or so places?
It's absolutely paid for by the Department of Defense. What I'll tell you is there wasn't money originally associated in the National Defense Authorization Act. The guidance that we have been given is that we are capturing all these costs, and we've actually started to see that reimbursement already occur at this point. So there's a number of things that, for example, I like to use the example of all of our police and fire badges on posts, all say Fort Benning on there, right? We've already gotten the new ones in. Most of them have come in now, the ones that say Fort Worth. So that's a reimbursable cost that Department of the Army is reimbursing us for, because it obviously comes as one of the ancillary costs associated with renaming.
The last time we talked, Colonel Sally, you couldn't put a dollar figure on it. Here we are 9 days out. Can you put a dollar figure or at least a ballpark figure on it?
So what I'll say is it's hard to do that still, and here's why I want to be clear on that is although there's been a number of costs that we've conducted so far, there'll be others, right? For example, there's a cost associated with cataloging and capturing all the signs. All the signs, we're going to maintain accountability of those, and we still have to have disposition instructions. We're going to be working with the Center of Military History as anything they want to capture. There's still costs associated with that. So really our costs will continue on after 11 May to continue to do work that we're doing. So it's hard to capture costs. I will say, generally speaking, it's in line with what the Naming Commission was estimating.
What was that dollar amount?
I think the dollar amount originally, I can't remember the details, but I think it was in the ballpark of around $5 million is what the estimating is. It's what the Renaming Commission is estimating. That was across the board for all the posts. Generally speaking, we're underneath that, but I won't go into the exact dollar amount.
Is there any kind of reaction from leadership, soldiers? I mean, I know everybody's busy continuing training, continuing mobilization. Any kind of reaction, I mean, in terms of positive or not to these changes?
I've gotten all positive. So Sergeant Major, I just came from a Community Leaders Information Forum meeting, which was with a number of leaders from across the post and also family members. And we showed one of the videos that our great PAO team has put out. And I think everyone is just really excited about this, opportunity, right? This is really going to be an opportunity of a lifetime to align ourselves with the Moore family. And we were giving out details about how exactly the ceremony would take place and parking and all those things. And I know families are excited to walk over and be part. People want to be in the stadium for this event, right? We talk a lot about Doughboy Stadium, which some of you are familiar with, and this is such a great opportunity. Lieutenant General Moore gave the speech to his battalion before they left for Vietnam in 1965, and we're gonna fill Doughboy Stadium even more than that now. There's folks coming from really all over the world. The Moore family has a very, very large contingent coming, and I think everybody's excited. You can feel the electricity in the air. So, Major, what are your thoughts?
No, I think it's been a great positive influence for everybody across the enterprise, not just for an installation, but within the community as well. So when we talk about the soldiers and leaders and the community of today, but we also set the conditions for the soldiers and leaders that we have and the community for the future as well, to embody the Army values, community, and just overall family values overall in itself. So it's been a great positive experience, as well as not only talking about introducing families and soldiers to the Moore family, but we also talk about reintroducing them to the Moore family as well, not just as the leader, but who they were as individuals in society.
And Major General Buzzard is really taking this approach that all of the periods of instruction that we can are going to be pausing for that period. So we're going to have the Captain's Career Course. We're going to have a number of the non-commissioned officer academies there. We're going to have one of the Dodia Education and Faith Middle Schools sending a contingent, a number of our Department of the Army civilians. So really, this is an opportunity for a leader professional development for really everyone to understand. And I will tell you that seats are going to be at a premium on Doughboy Stadium on May 11th.
I'd like to ask the Command Sergeant Major question. Sergeant Major, what do you say to enlisted personnel retired inspectors? And that's where I've heard most of the blowback of this is coming from people who came out of the enlisted ranks. As the top enlisted man on Fort Benning, what do you say to the enlisted personnel, active duty and retired about this name?
So the name change is the same thing we've embodied and we've messaged all across, is that, look, the mission doesn't change. Ranger School hasn't gotten any more less difficult or more difficult than it. It's still the same. We still got to train the most combat, lethal, and ready soldiers for not just the Army itself, but across the globe overall. So we message the same concepts, the same way ahead, and nothing has changed, to include taking care of our families, embodying and reintroducing the more values and community and selfless service that they provided for the families itself, reintroducing that, or just reinvigorating it and making it stronger as we already do now, and we make it and reintroduce that more so now, not just for our active duty, but also our retirees, that we're here for them just as much as ever.
Yeah, Sergeant Major, one more question for you, Bill. In terms of on that same, I'm piggybacking on that. A lot of times something is named for one person, one man, like Fort Benning was. Fort Moore named for a couple or a family situation. So how important is it to focus on like the fact that like we want to embrace the military family, the spouse, not just the man who served?
So I will tell you, so we set the conditions. I mean, I think we hit the absolute lottery ticket per se. When we talk about, we're the only installation that's being, memorized for a husband and spouse team. And to have that, it only embodies the same thing when we talk about all of our active duty soldiers and families as well. That it's a community, it's a team. It's not just about the soldier, but the spouses play just as much an important role as for our mission here at soon-to-be Fort Moore.
Sergeant Major and I have to pinch ourselves because it is such an honor for us personally, right, to be the last garrison command team at Fort Moore, and the last one at Fort Benning and the first one at Fort Moore. It's just such an amazing time to be here. Like I said, you can feel the electricity in the air, and we're proud to be leading this change and be the first ones. And I don't want to give away any of the events of the ceremony, but our colors, our set of garrison colors say Fort Benning on it, and the new ones will say Fort Moore. We're going to be able to unveil those the day of, and we're just so excited. There couldn't be a better place to be on 11 May for anybody in the greater Columbus area to be here and share this historical event with us at Liberal State.
Sergeant Major, if you can give your rank and name, if you could, just
I'm sorry.
so we can have that.
Yes, sir. Command Sergeant Major Michael D. Sanchez.
So is that S-A-N-C-H-E-Z?
Yes, sir. S-A-N-C-H-E-Z.
Any other questions from the team? I know it's a little bit loud out here, but
Is there anything either of you would like to add that we have not asked you?
Man.
yeah.
So I will tell for everybody, for the team here as well, I couldn't be more proud and more humbled to be a part of this iconic, I don't want to say change, but iconic growth as we move forward in the future. I've spent 16 years of my military career. I hit 29 years in August, and I've spent 16 years of my military career here at Fort Benning, soon to be Fort Moore, and I couldn't be just as proud as this installation alone, regardless of the name, has made me and molded me into the person, the human being, and the man and the leader I am today. And I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this iconic change into Army values, family values, and this overall who we are as human beings and people, not just for the soldiers and families on this installation, but overall within the Chattahoochee Valley region. So I'm pretty honored and proud.
One of our interns has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you guys have the initiatives in place for the confusion with the name change as far as the civilians of Columbus?
So we have been obviously lockstep with the community as this has happened when we finally got the date. Obviously, we're the fourth now of 9 bases that are changing, and those dates are slowly locking in. So we've given all the information to the community. I know that they have some different processes, and we were clear a few weeks ago that they weren't going to necessarily be able to mirror exactly on the same time frame that we were. They have different processes in place. I understand after talking to Mayor Henderson that there are some legislation that has to go through for the local name change. I believe they have to have a vote, those kind of things right now. So they're very aware that we're changing. We're giving them all the information. We fully support their processes that they're going to do, and I think it's going to be a little bit slower than some of ours because we have the option to change it. But we're in full support of their processes as they move through this as well.
When you turn around and look at us, it's finally put up there, Fort Moore. The letter's finally there. What does that mean to Fort Benning in the Columbus area?
Well, what I think, and I haven't turned around yet, so that's a great point. But what I want to say is, Sergeant Major and I have the absolute pleasure and honor every day. We're responsible for the soldiers and families of Fort Benning. We're not only responsible to the soldiers and families of Fort Benning, but we're also responsible to the community as well. And that's why we say we're your garrison command team, right? And it's been an absolute honor to move through this process and educate folks on who the Moore family was there's still a more contingent. One of their sons lives just in Auburn Opelika area, right? So it's such a great community. I've had the pleasure to be over to their house, be invited, and what my wife and I left and said was we absolutely felt like family the first time we met them. It's just an amazing opportunity. We're so proud to lead this change, to really galvanize the community together behind this name. And this is the first time that we've turned around and really seen the completed sign, and it's really just such an honor to be the first to do this. Now, you're only going to see this for a moment because it's going to be covered back up, right? Because the work isn't fully done yet, and it'll be unveiled on Thursday, 11 May. So we're getting a little bit of a sneak peek, but it's such an honor for me, really a bit emotional to understand the transition that this really has been, even predating the period between Sergeant Major Sanchez and I, but understanding all the community effort and the advocacy that has gone into this, and it really is truly an honor, and we're so happy to be here with you all today.